Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals. This is my type of story. You guys know me, Marvel Unlimited guys, how I got into comics. I read a whole bunch of digitals, and then I was like, hey, if I like it, I'll own it. So I bought this one. I bought a lot of the big event comic book series. This is up my wheelhouse. I like Inhumans versus X-Men, AVX, Civil War 2. One time I told Sean from the comics pals, and oh, that's good for you. You like that story? I like some stories like this. Whatever has to do with villains sort of fighting in Civil War 1, the heroes and conflict, that they've all been hitting for me. So this thing comes out, Kieron Gillen, and I liked it a lot. I've stepped out. If you know me, Inferno issue 4, that was my goodbye to the X-Men. And here I am. I'm back. This is an X-Men book as well as an Avengers and Eternals, but it's definitely qualifies as an X-Men book. Um Getting back into it and seeing what Moira's up to, seeing that Moira McTaggart is like not Hickman's Moira McTaggart anymore was sort of eye-opening. I don't consider that canon. That was part of Earth 166. The rest was all good. The rest was all 616. It begins with Cersei and Tony, and they're just chit chatting about, hey, why are we gonna be fighting in a couple of days? Huh? Oh, we're having those talks. The thing is, Cersei left the Eternals. Thanks for letting me know about that, Kieran Gillen. Didn't really read your run. I don't really read the Eternals. The Eternals are here. So if I'm gonna give money to something, why should I pay money on Eternals who've never really done anything in Marvel? It Why? Like there are reasons you could give me excuses. You could give me like, well, Chillmonger, if you do pay money for the Eternals, that will mean X, Y, and no, the X, Ys, and the Zs are not. They didn't hit it for me. So no, I'm not gonna be reading that shit. Here it comes the Phoenix of Echo. They're really boosting her powers. She, Thor, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, they're all representing the Avengers, and it's like a pretty top. The only one you're missing really is the Hulk, but they've got like everything covered, like a superheroes on the Avengers to be a worthy enough like team to be represented here, to have your names here. I don't know why Cap is in the middle of the thing. I don't know why Captain America is probably the weakest of the Avengers I just mentioned. Yeah, even the freaking home that they live in is stronger than Captain America, that dead body of the Celestial. But there he is in the middle. By the way, hey, like a few months ago when this promo image was released, I made a commentary on Twitter talking about like diversity because Marvel claimed that they're all about that. You guys see how white this comic book page is here? Yep, pretty white. It's pretty Caucasian actually. So it goes to show you like the big summer event, Judgment Day. Dun dun dun. The people that they used for to write story, or the characters that they use on these stories are all super white, except for that one right there, Aurora Monroe. Oh, it's on the wrong side because the mirror right there, her. Hey, I hope she shows out. But Marvel's not a diverse company. They're not known. They can say that they're inclusive, but when it comes to substantial like page appearances, uh-uh. And that's fine. I'm gonna read the story regardless. I just have that in the back of my mind, and maybe I can educate you guys too, or bring that to your attention. If you're like diversity advocates, if you're like piece of shit racist, first of all, guys, this is not the channel for you guys. It's the anti-white supremacy YouTube channel. Just gotta let you guys know that. I'm gonna get a lot of new viewers here because it's gonna be posted right on Wednesday. People are gonna search Avengers vs X-Men. Oh, look, this Chillmonger guy's doing a review. I don't know. Maybe he's cool. No, I'm not cool. I'm not down with your kind brother. Sister. It's not me. Not like that. The comic book continues. Cersei now gets locked up, and she says something to Tony Stark. She's like, "Listen, I can give you a stroke real quickly. Thicken up that blood, and you'll die." And it brought me back to when Tony Stark died. So I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, you can die." Wait. Oh yeah. Death is meaningless even for these guys. So as much as this whole plot is surrounding how okay, the mutants right now, they're immortal and everyone knows that they're immortal. As much as the plot is we got to stop that, their ability to be resurrected makes them a threat. Well, I'm looking at all these human characters or superhumans or like everyone who's died. For Captain America, remember when he got like time jumped into the future with that gun? Everybody dies. So like it makes me question it. The blame would go on every comic book writer, every lazy editor who wouldn't edit and wouldn't nix ideas like that. who have characters die. Spider-Man died in his run with Nick Spencer, Patrick Leeson. I remember there was an issue where he just died and he was back. Kindred kept bringing him back to death, to life. Huh? What? Dan Slott had him die with the Superior Spider-Man story. You guys know death is dead in comics. So that was an eye-opening moment when she threatened him with death, and I'm like, oh, Tony, yeah, Tony's vulnerable to dying. Yeah, but he came back. You know what I mean? I read those stories back when I was reading the main character of Marvel Comics, Riri Williams. Back when she was in, I told you guys, I'm not Comicsgate. Back when she was in the pages of Invincible Iron Man, which of course I disagree. I should think that it never should have happened. You should have kind of given her own book with her own, which didn't take away from others. But they did do that, and yeah, he was dead. He died. I think he rebooted all of his cells to come back to life, and then he let everyone know, "Don't worry, guys, I'll be okay." And he just needed his hair to grow back. That's really stupid. Over on the Krakoan side of things, we got Nightcrawler, and he goes over to Araco, which you can't call Mars. All right. I like how quickly he went over there. Destiny said, I got this prediction. It's the Eternals. They're going to come annihilate us. Okay, cool. Straight right over, like right over to Magneto and Storm. He let the important ones know that it's war. I like it. I like the quickness. And this book might have even been a little bit too quick when we get to the fall of Krakoa and the way that they kind of lost their men. I wish that would have took more to get that to happen, because Krakoa's been pretty strong. If you guys remember during the Empire event, remember what Magneto was doing with and Iceman were doing over there to protect Krakoa. I fear if Krakoa's gonna go down and be attacked, I want to see some pages, spend some time there, spend some time on Logan. So if anything, this was too quick, if that's criticism, but like that's minor. That's just a nitpick. That's just like a small preference. It was still an awesome comic to me. I might have skipped one thing. The signs here, one of the picket signs has the infinity logo and it's crossed out. I love that because they're anti in infinity, like living on forever and being an immortal. And then it says forever isn't just for mutants. Of course they would say something like that, man. They hate mutants. And when Druig did the, oh, I'm not invading your privacy with a psychic message. We're using all of your high technology. Listen, we'll take care of the mutants for you. And all these bigoted ass humans. Yeah, hooray! Those guys are not going to be alive anymore. How does that affect you? I can think of reasons it affects you. For one, Professor X has his monthly mental Skype call with everyone in the world. So yeah, he gets on his Cerebro and he does that a few times. He's done that how many times in Marvel Comics? Like, if even if you say he did it 10 times, that's about once a year, right? That's too much. I can see why you would dislike them, but still, like, you're gonna be happy that they're gonna kill all the mutants. Holy moly. There's not even that many mutants to begin with. On House of M, they brought it down to 200. Okay, that happens. Oh, I'm wrong. Crucible. I'm wrong. Yep. There's the mutants numbers are huge. They're way up thanks to Gold Balls and thanks to the 5. And then in Araco, their population, as they said here in the top corner of that page, population 200,000. You don't see what they're doing. Genosha, Grant Morrison's run. Remember how they had like 16 million, and then the population dwindled and dwindled. They put that there, the Araco population, because it is gonna dwindle later on. I found the page right here. You see the top right, guys? You see that? That's what I'm talking about. So the war is about set. We know what's coming. We learned a little something about Thanos and that what the Eternals were going through in the book. No one needed to read because they told us what happens here. And then in comes Steve Rogers, and he's like, "Listen, there's something she's saying that there's something that she's not telling us. She's being covert when it comes to the knowledge she knows, but she was also an Avenger. All right, Captain America. That's a Captain America thing to say. She's an Avenger. She's one of you. And so the characterization here, I have no problems with. I'm a fan of it. Okay. They don't want to really reveal to each other who knows what and what knows what. They keep asking each other, "What do you know?" And Cersei finishes with, "I'm not the Eternal you need to worry about. The Eternal you need to worry about is this guy right here on the very next page. He's got problems. He's gonna seek approval from his freaking council members. They all give their stupid ass thumbs up. That page was probably not needed. If there is a page I would take away to slow down things later on, or to even show that Euros guy later on kicking ass, because he kind of does all of his ass kicking off screen where there's just a whole bunch of bones piled up, I would take away this page. Maybe these guys in red will come to fruition in issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if that's true, then I take it back. This was okay. But the 101st Eternal dude, Uranus, Uranos, Uranus, the Undying. He's got 1 hour. Okay. Why are we only giving him a 1 hour time limit? Probably because this is issue number one and we need things to escalate. But in storyline, I'm not sure I understand why he did that. Why it was only a year, 1 year. Like I said, Moira McTaggart stuff doesn't really count because it doesn't matter. We got egg gold balls. Egg? That was weird hearing. And Logan called them gold balls at first, right? But we got gold balls over there. Just all right. We're gonna show him here. Just remind you guys about the five. The five are going down. The five going down for me adds stakes. Like soon, if you guys watch my review, when it was introduced that the mutants now can resurrect each other. So Hawks issue 5. I said this is bad news because we need stakes. We need people to die. It's the ultimate sacrifice. And if you can't threaten me with, oh, these guys, oh, this mission's so dangerous, they might die, and that's death being finality. If you can't even tease me with that, well, what's the worst that can happen, really? And the answer is, well, it's creativity. You could do more. Sometimes there's things worse than death, which I don't believe that there is. And in the last 2 years that I've been reading the X-Men, I don't think that I was ever swayed like, okay, yeah, people can die. Don't worry. It's about the consequence. No, maybe unless I was reading Jonathan Hickman and unless they were visiting Orcus to like fight Orcus, fight Nimrod, and figure things out. Other than that, when they would kind of sacrifice themselves to die, other than that, they really didn't use death in a proper way. I distinctly remember the X-Force where Domino died. So she's this lucky person who's not supposed to die, but she was in like this train accident and she died in the train. It was maybe issue 8, and she had to be resurrected. The same issue. Um, any other era of X-Men, Domino's way too lucky to just die because a train crashed. And it was lazy, and it was like this thing that you could do, like a Survivor Series 5-on-5 match where you need eliminations quickly. So all of a sudden, every basic move is now a finisher. S- So that, and I've said that before, like the Superman punch that Roman Reigns uses in wrestling, it's not supposed to be something that 1, 2, 3s you. In Survivor Series, it is. Uh, Kofi Kingston does the SOS. You usually kick out of that. In Survivor Series, it is. So yeah, that's the way that they used the death here in the X-Men. There's other ways. Like they would even sometimes end an issue with Quentin Quire's dead. Or Kate Pride is dead. Oh my God, it's Kate Pride is dead, and that's the final page, and it's all big, and it says to be continued, and I go, yeah, but they're all coming back. What's the point of it? Why are they pretending? What are they doing with it? So anyone who says it wasn't about the shock value of death, and it was more so it's all about the story. No, f that. They did end a whole lot of issues with death. The very first issue of X Force, Professor X died. Maybe we can forgive that one because it was the first time, but Death was all over the place. Death was dead. It was crazily dead. I'm happy that it's going to be gone. I'm cheering for the Eternals for one thing, and it's to eliminate this resurrection protocol. I think out of the five, Hope is going to stay. Sync kind of is doing what she's doing, but Hope is going to stay. Okay. Gold Balls is the one to leave. Let me just tell you, it's him because his organic matter of Gold Balls, you can't really you can't really use other mutants to kind of like get around that. There's other little reality warping mutants. There's other time mutants who are gonna appear, but when you get to that's what Tempest does. That's what Proteus does. That's the other mutants. What Gold Balls does, he's pretty unique to. So if you can get rid of Gold Balls and all of the backup Gold Balls, which I believe that there are like 5 Cerebro helmets, and each of those 5 Cerebro helmets have there's 5 of everybody. There's 5 backups for everything. If you can get rid of that, boom, death is gone. I'm happy. So let me continue reading this comic. The artwork here of these ugly ass Eternals descending on mutant kind in Krakoa was great. Valerio, Schiti, hey man, 2 thumbs up. Well, here's the first one. There's a second thumbs up, and the colors by Marte Gracia. So this was a joy reading and watching and like exploring. The X-Men live on New York. They made their way over to Krakoa. They got to fighting, and it wasn't too impressive out of fighting. Here's this jacket dude who started throwing knives. Wolverine, the guy who can heal, intercepts that knife so that it wouldn't kill freaking. It wouldn't go into Hope. I think Hope still died though. Um, Next page, they're already back. They're in the Magna Arbor Magna, and they're like, "All right, what just happened to us? Our forces are down." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what just happened to you guys. You guys lost." Except you barely are gonna be able to come back to live to fight another day because of your little resurrection protocols. But you lost. Krakoa was invaded. They only left because they felt like leaving because the true mission was over happening in Araco. They got rid of all the gates from Mars to Earth. So now that second wave of attack, which I hope might happen in issue number 2, that second wave is going to be epic. Uranus, what his goal was accomplished. All of this death and this desecration. You can see a Magneto helmet over there. Magneto's helmet over there on the right side of your screen. It's not focusing. You know, you read the comic, you know that's there. So this guy was able to get rid of that mutant. Holy. And when Magneto gets resurrected, there's not going to be any memory of how to even defeat this guy. What are his tactics? It'll be brand new and fresh to him. So we got a threat here. It's a credible threat. He's a 101st Eternal who came out of nowhere and whatever, but there's a threat. Brand new villain that's also a plus. We comic book fans, we want new things, don't we? Rather than rehashing things or repurposing old characters and giving them new motivations that are not consistent with what they used to be. This is good. So, in comes Druid. Here's all these dumbasses all happy. Druid with the smug little smile. And the way that the comic ends, because it has to end, is listen, pay no mind, guys. If everyone in the coast go in, we've got these killers that just came out of the water. Don't worry, they'll take care of all your dreams. We have not just Uranus to worry about, we've got these ones. So maybe we'll get rid of the big tall guys first, and then that Uranus guy later. This is going to be some epic fighting mission. And the Celestial of Avengers headquarters is going to play a part also. Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals was, man, okay, I'm on board. I'm here. I'm riding. I'm on board. No, you don't board something that you ride. How do you ride something that you board? Unless it's a train. Can you board a train? Yes. Can you ride the train? Yes. Yeah, I'm on board and I'm riding. The train. The Axe train. A.X.E. Judgment Day. Yom Qiyamah. I've been chillmonger. That's my thoughts on this entire event and resurrection and the status of the X-Men right now. I'm still not going to start reading all of the X-Men little tie-ins. Come on, guys, tie-ins. It's a recession, and I'm not spending no money on tie-ins, okay? But the X-Men status of where they are right now, what's the point? They do comic books that go to issue number 5 just to reboot at number 1. They're fooling your local comic shop into over ordering. That's the way that they're making their money there, by screwing over your LCS, getting all those variant covers and hoping. And they really think that they're doing something smart. They really think that by screwing over all these LCSs, by doing 5-issue limited series and then rebooting at issue number 1 and having your friend that you pay money to, the merchants, that dude over there who's like, here, I'll give you these. He's over here every single few months going, let's got the same writer and the same artist, but they changed the name of the comic. They renumbered it. Oh, same characters too, but it's a number 1. Oh, I got to make my decision now. Rather than, well, I know a certain amount of people ordered issue 6. I know how many will order 7. Rather than just letting them do that. They don't know. They're not friends with your LCS. This is a practice that I do not condone at all. It's pretty dark. And the state of the X-Men is that a whole bunch of reboots and renumbers. There's no long-term storytelling, which I can't really say. Actually, it's only been July and Inferno ended in December, January. So maybe it's not fair for me to say that, but there's no long-term storytelling that I'm invested in. I was invested in long-term storytelling. It was when, you guys remember when it was not Jonathan Hickman, but Peter Rosenberg. He was writing X-Men comics, and then you see advertisements that would go, "He's coming." Oh, Jonathan Hickman's coming. That they at that point they were advertising long-term storytelling because by saying his name, his past work was what I had in mind, which was long-term storytelling. And so this is the thing that they did. They hired a writer, so Jonathan Hickman, who's known for long-term storytelling, and he pitched a long-term story. They said, "Yeah, let's go." And then they didn't do it long term. It's fucking disgusting. It's crazy. And then a whole bunch of you guys, that's you right now, you guys continued paying money even when Hickman left, and this short-term storytelling and directionless X-Men stuff has continued. I mean, you guys spend your money on what you want. I'm just reporting the news. This is what happened. I would have imagined as soon as Hickman left, all the X-Men books would, but like some people just they're addicts, man. They have to be reading these X-Men books. Shouldn't shouldn't be spending money on that stuff, man. Shouldn't be spending money on that stuff. And here I am being a hypocrite saying I'm reading A.X.E, which is like I said, it is an X-Men book. But it's got so much to do with the Avengers, and I feel like the summer event is a worthwhile comic to be getting. Even though I wasn't reading Thor, I did check out the War of the Realms. Everybody was there. Even though I wasn't reading, et cetera, like King in Black. I wasn't much of a Venom guy, but I was like, hey, let me just check out what's going on here with him. I can't think of any other summer events. I'm not even sure King in Black was a summer event, but the summer events are something that you're supposed to pick up. You know that a lot of attention went to this. They've got the top tier creators on it with Kieron Gillen, second go around with the X-Men. Holy, and he's doing all right. I'm up on this book. I'm up on the villains who I think are the Eternals. Druig, at least. I can see that there's a couple of good guys amongst the bad guys. Like with Cersei, who left the Eternals, and she's kind of on the outcast. She might be a good guy. The Avengers so far seem to be the most like okay, they're just good all across the board. They do have the Phoenix on their side though, and if the Phoenix is there, and they made time to mention it here with Jean and Scott speaking about it, don't think that's for nothing. Like that's not going nowhere. That's a plot right there. One, if Jean Grey's in the same room as the Phoenix, you're telling me that's not story that's going to be expanded on. I want to see that in the 6 issue series. Our cones are going to die in the 6 issue series. They are expendable. As soon as they invented those guys and said, "Oh, they're going to live on Mars," yeah, they separated them from the rest of the mutants so that you could destroy them easily. That watch Mars be destroyed. It's going to be killed. It's either by some sort of gas or maybe even the planet itself will just explode. Could they do that? Yeah, why not? Do we really use Mars in Marvel Comics? I think Hickman did it one time. They even mentioned how like the Avengers had Mars and they didn't terraform it. Not the X-Men. Not the X-Men. Okay, that concludes this comic book review. Like the video if you liked what I had to say. Let's do some predictions. Let's chit chat in the comment section. I'm Chillmonger every Saturday, 33 burning MCU questions. And I will be also talking about Hall H this weekend. Look out for that. I'll maybe do another comic review too.